And serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
Breaking news tonight, the Bison football team has been informed there will be no football this fall. Valley News Live sports reporter Alex Egan is here with the details. Alex?
Yeah, Andrea, North Dakota State Athletic Director Matt Larson told Valley News Live last week when the Missouri Valley postponed its season, they would still search for non-conference games to be played in the fall. And after exhausting all options, the Bison are going to have to wait until spring for the first snap of the season. Now, the MVFC left the door open for individual schools to play up to 3 non-conference games this fall at their own discretion, and NDSU was pushing hard to get some games on the schedule. But today, we learned all of the options did not pan out. So now we will wait until spring for football to be played here in Fargo with the hopes of still competing for a national championship in the spring. Andrea?
All right, thanks, Alex. As of right now, the Bison are set to play 8 games against other conference members this spring. The dates for when practices and games can begin have not yet been released. If you had to navigate the rain and storms at any point today during your commute, you were dealing with some challenges. The downpours, the high wind, and the tricky intersections where the lights weren't working. And then there are the tornadoes spotted in our viewing area. Let's get more on that and more on our first alert day from Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Andrea. Our attention is shifting now to rainfall that is continuing through the valley. The risk for the severe stuff, the hail, the very gusty straight line winds and tornadoes, that risk is diminishing. And thank you for all of your photos. We'll start with some rain reports. Barnesville, 5 inches in the gauge here. Thanks so much, Wendy D. And then Derek capturing 3.5 inches 1 mile north of Valley City. Numerous reports throughout our first alert weather day today as the rain started yesterday and did not relent for many areas. Here's a look at the radar. We do have active weather in the form of tornadic thunderstorms that moved through Grant County, putting 3 tornadoes on the ground in Grant County at one time. But as I mentioned, our focus now is rain. These are radar estimates of rainfall over the last 24 hours. And as you look where we see the blues and purples, 5 to 10 inches of rain in central Otter Tail County along Highway 108 there near Maple Lake State Park, and 5 to 10 inches in northern Norman and Mahnomen counties as well. So flooding concerns will be our risk. We have a flash flood watch in our area. We have a tornado watch that's being trimmed back off to the east as storms move to the east. Bemidji, some thunderstorms for you. We do have some showers moving through eastern Becker County at this time. We'll continue to watch, but the risk of severe really waning as this storm is exiting our area. But we do have that flash flood watch for the Gary area as storms exit Bemidji at this time. We have a swirling mass of clouds up in the northern valley as well. That is just good old-fashioned heavy rain that continues there. Hour by hour forecast, well, it looks like we get to quiet things down a little bit. Andrea, I'll have details on that here in just a few moments in your hour by hour forecast.
Boy, quiet will be good after the last, 24 hours?
Indeed. Yeah.
Thanks, Hutch. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so that you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecasts and conditions so that you can plan your day. All you have to do is search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. Dozens of people continue to be without power this evening after straight-line winds knocked down power poles on highways 81 and 16 near Horace this morning. Our first alert storm team says between 9:40 and 10:20 this morning, winds were between 78 and 104 miles per hour, which had one neighbor convinced the damage left behind was from a tornado.
It got to the point where we couldn't even see anything out the windows. And that's when I finally said the words, I think we need to go downstairs.
And coming up tonight on Valley News Live at 6, we walk through the Costman's Horace property and show more damage from this morning's dangerous straight-line winds. Emergency crews in the metro have had their hands full all day, responding to multiple calls for power line fires or arcing wires as the storms moved through the area. Firefighters have been called out for a number of reasons, ranging from branches on power lines to downed power lines or outages. Fargo police also say the lights at certain intersections have not been working. So if you encounter this, treat it as an all-way stop. One driver encountered a scary situation today. Fargo police say the driver veered off the road because of the heavy rain and hit a pole, which caused his car to tip over. The driver managed to crawl out of the vehicle with help from the Fargo Fire Department. Authorities say no one was injured after a train struck a dump truck in Polk County, Minnesota. It was 9 this morning when the Polk County Sheriff's Office got the call to head to the tracks. Deputies determined the BNSF train hit the dump truck while it was on the tracks. The driver of the dump truck, 57-year-old John Bertils, had no injuries from the incident. Authorities with the University of North Dakota need your help solving a stolen motorcycle case. The department posted this video to their Facebook page late last night showing someone taking a bike from the parking lot of Brannan and Norrin Hall on the UND campus. The person appears to pull up on a four-wheeler with a small trailer attached to the back and take the motorcycle. If you have any information on this case, go ahead and call UND police. Let's take a look at the COVID-19 numbers. In Minnesota, the Department of Health is reporting another 738 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 8 new deaths linked to the illness. In total, 1,693 deaths have been attributed to the disease, while over 56,000 people are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, there are 152 new cases and 1 new death. The death toll now sits at 121, and the active case count is up to 1,099. The safe return of fall high school sports in the Valley will be a complex task amid the pandemic. School leaders say they are ready for the challenge. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard gives an inside look at what's changed.
Attention athletes, coaches, and fans, as of this Friday, every sport is set to go at West Fargo High School.
We're cautiously optimistic, I think, is the term that a lot of activities directors are using right now.
Activities director Jay DeCan says he's ready to see kids back on the playing fields. All teams, he says, are already taking precautions.
As you can see, we've all got our masks, right? And so anytime that we cannot properly physical distance indoors, we will always have our masks on.
We just have to social distance and wear masks when we're inside.
Tony Leal is ready to kick off freshman year, even if it means wearing a mask while practicing. DeCan says the gym will start out at 40% capacity, and within the next week or so, they'll have a video camera installed so community members can catch the action.
We're spraying down all of our soccer balls, volleyballs, footballs, any pads, any equipment that gets touched and handled is all being sprayed.
Players, coaches, and other sports enthusiasts are keeping their fingers crossed as they try to maintain.
Being around friends is like what we wanted to do all summer, and we didn't get to do that, but football gives us an opportunity to do that.
In West Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
The North Dakota High School Activities Association has released guidelines for all districts to follow for reopening sports and activities. To find out more on that, you can visit our VNL app. President Donald Trump says he's willing to work with Democrats on another coronavirus relief package if they give the American people what they want. During a White House briefing today, President Trump also signaled he would be willing to give $25 billion to the U.S. Postal Service, but criticized Democrats for holding up any assistance. The president also spoke about his younger brother, Robert, who is currently hospitalized in New York. Mr. Trump is expected to visit him later today.
I have a wonderful brother. We've had a great relationship for a long time, from day one. It's a long time ago. And he's in the hospital right now, and hopefully he'll be all right, but he's having a hard time.
The president says he hopes Russia's vaccine works and stressed that once a vaccine is ready in the U.S., he thinks the elderly and nursing homes should be the first to get it. Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris made the Democratic ticket official today. They each signed paperwork that will qualify them as the Democratic candidates on ballots in all 50 states. And of course, they'll become the official nominees at the party's convention next week. Biden and Harris each began by signing ballot documents for their respective home states. And Harris had her first response to the initial attacks against her by President Trump and his allies.
We're going to make this official. We're signing our request to get on the ballot in each of the states. I'm starting off by signing Delaware, and the senator's going to sign California, and then you guys leave me down the real work and get all the states.
Both declined to answer whether they have recently been tested for the coronavirus. Still ahead on Valley News Live at 5, Dr. Deborah Birx responds to criticism from the president and his positive attitude toward the country's pandemic progress.
Going on 48 hours of severe weather. Yesterday in Thief River Falls, we had some hail. Today, it, well, picked up again where it left off. There's towering storms from last night and headache hail in West Fargo, in Mahnomen, as well as right here in the Jamestown and Fargo areas. A little cooler today and quieter for the weekend. Your forecast is next.